forbidden fields and empty meadows, I wind and wander to pierce the seal and loose the shadow that pulls me under places that should not be disturbed. All that I would cast away, watching dying fall from myself or from another. Strain the spirit of its color, bleeding into gray, crumble to the ground, a titan coming down. Cycle begins to atone, I will bear the crown. Twins of the curse on the brow, pull the future down. Giants setting in from the drain of eternity, piercing the wound to escape from a destiny. What have I become? All that I would cast away, watching dying fall from myself or from another. Trade the spirit of its color, bleeding into gray, crumble to the ground, a titan coming down. All that I would cast away, watching dying fall in a choking fog, I smother. Trade the spirit of its color, bleeding into gray, crumble to the ground, a titan coming down.
Hello everyone and welcome to Final Show. I'm John, the executive producer here, and I've just got a few pre-show notes for you. First of all, I want to let everybody know that our addresses have changed. Our Twitch channel has changed from Senstaku to twitch.tv/FinalShowFilms, and our YouTube channel has also changed to youtube.com/FinalShowFilms. Next, we want to thank our $20 tier supporters on Patreon, which is patreon.com/FFilms, by the way, if you want to go throw a couple bucks our way. That's going to be Cat Waterflame, Antitonic, Samantha Bates, and Maureen Monty. Thank you guys for that. Also, our website is in the process of getting updated, so go take a look at finalshowfilms.com. We've got Mara and Jeremy are working on updating all of our stuff there, making it look nice and like a modern website, and frankly, they know what they're doing far better than I or Austin ever did. So if you want to check out the things that are changing there, you go do that. Follow us on Twitter at Final Show Films for updates for all future things, including things that are going on with our website and going on with the Patreon page, and things that are going on live as we stream them, as well as our podcasts and everything else. So thank you very much for watching. Y'all have a good day. Now we're live.
Hello, everybody, and welcome once again to Everyone is Warlocks, Conflux, the Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition campaign that we're running here on Final Show Films. I'm Jack, your storyteller and dungeon master for this whole extravaganza, and we are glad to be back after our holiday hiatus. Joining me today is Aaron.
Hi, I'm Aaron, and I am playing Zoe, the half-drow Hexblade Assassin, Pact of the Blade, Warlock.
And Jeremy.
Hi, I'm Jeremy. I'm playing Korshana Thavakri, the Kalishtar Pact of the Chain. Warlock.
And John.
I got an intro right!
You did it! Well done!
I've been practicing.
I'm John. I'm playing Elishard Amasi, the human warder Pact of the Undying Pact of the Host Warlock.
And Nikki.
Hi everybody, I'm Nikki. I'll be playing Diamond Qatar, the Earth Genasi Pact of the Archfey Blade Warlock. Yes.
And Cody.
Hi, I'm Cody. I'm playing Cole, the Shifter Urchin Pact of the Chain Warlock.
And Mara.
Hi, I'm Mara, and I'm playing Aurelia, the human archaeologist Pact of the Blade Warlock.
William, who generally plays Wotan, will unfortunately not be with us today because he's off doing theater things. But we will continue on without him currently. And our last moments in Conflux were spent near a narrow stone crevice in the Undergress as the Hawkshead Compact ended the second day of their subterranean journey. There are many perils in the darkness beneath the city, and having confronted traps, madmen, and monsters, our warlocks are perhaps a day or two away from their final landmark, a tree-like sculpture that marks the location where they will meet with someone from House Yangere, one of the leagues of assassin drow that ply their deadly trade in this little pocket dimension of Conflux. And now, our eyes are drawn once again to this mismatched band as they awaken in the caverns and prepare for the final leg of their journey. The last watch has been completed. Your somewhat sheltered campsite was undisturbed over the sleeping hours that you spent. And you guys once again can proceed with your walk in the dark. You're a little bit off the map here at this point. Referencing the charts provided by Lenore is no longer going to be of any help. Only rarely do the pathways delineated seem to actually reflect what the maps themselves show. So how are we going to proceed?
I like to imagine Diamond wakes up after the long rest and is like, Did anybody put on a light? Oh my god, I can see in the dark!
Congratulations.
Holy shit!
How's it feel?
A whole new world has been opened up to me.
You see why we think you're so inferior?
Me, Diamond, or people that can't see in the dark in general?
People who can't see in the dark in general.
Also, possibly specifically you. I
Now
don't
you'll
know.
get to watch them wander around mostly blind. It's kind of hilarious.
I light my torch.
Let's get going. Who? Okay, we have
Not-
to.
Kidding, I'm kidding.
Not intentionally in front of Zoe, but probably in front of Zoe.
Flare.
Dancing lights.
We have to. The map doesn't go farther than this, right? So.
The map shows pathways, but as you guys begin to proceed, you're starting to realize that they are tangentially representative at best. Either things have altered since these maps were created, or they were based off of vague reports, or the map doesn't seem to be super accurate to what's actually happening down here, at least currently. It was really good a couple days ago.
Yup.
Less good now. You do notice that the undergrass passages here are somewhat broader, but the clusters of 3 crystals that mark the branching paths seem slightly dimmer, a little less clearly situated. Those fluctuations in temperature still occur occasionally, sometimes chilly, sometimes sweltering.
Like weird pockets. Okay.
So who's going to lead this merry band of adventurers?
I can.
Yeah, I can help if you want.
That would be nice.
All right. Zoe, give me a survival check then, with advantage.
Yay. Survival. $19.
19. Well done. Pacing yourselves and keeping careful watch, you manage to continue fairly swiftly through the undergrass. Only a few wrong turns are made, and those are fairly quickly corrected. Time does pass strangely for those of you more used to the progression of the sun and moons across the sky, but you feel like the day is perhaps half over as you eventually step into a massive underground chamber, much larger than most of the tunnels that you've been passing recently. Dominating the cavern is a massive stalagnate, nearly 70 feet tall before it reaches the roof, and fully a meter across at its thinnest point. At some time past, it has been carved and textured to resemble a branching tree, but the sculpting has been dulled by further mineral deposits over time. Everybody give me perception checks.
Perception.
10.
19.
Also, Elishard, if you've been keeping torches burning, you are down to about 3 at this point.
Okay.
Do you need a lantern? Would that be useful?
Probably, yeah.
I have one.
I mean,
I am doing for the record, I am doing the invisible quadrant's shoulder seen through his
Okay.
eyes thing. So
Gotcha,
I have
gotcha.
dark vision.
Absolutely. Okay.
Until somebody knocks him unconscious, and then I'm blind until I return my vision. So that'll be fun.
Ah, good to know.
Distract the quadrant with a piece of cheese. I'm like, what? What the?
Your uncooperative, actively malicious seeing eye, Equasit.
He's just gonna go stand in the corner and yell, "No screen watching."
So, Cole, and Diamond specifically. Everybody else, you mostly all you can see is the silhouette of this huge tree. Those of you with active dark vision, because the torchlight doesn't really go that far out. But Diamond and Cole, glancing around a bit, you notice two things. First, the walls are covered with strange runes that seem to follow the Undercommon alphabet, but are uniquely stylized. The other thing you notice is that something is moving along the far end of the chamber and seems to be headed your direction.
Big something or human-sized something or tiny something?
Because I know we wrote it down, but it's back in chat, in the chat archive that's not accessible at the moment. We were supposed to reach a tree and wait, correct?
Yeah, it's in the party notebook as well.
Okay.
Yeah, so I think this is the place we're supposed to stop, but
It's
Definitely where we're supposed to stop.
it's large-ish.
large-ish.
It doesn't seem like the thing we're supposed to be finding.
Do you guys tell anybody that you see stuff that's moving?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Once- I'm gonna go see if I can see what it is. I'll bonus action turn into a bird.
Turn to a
Everybody's showing off their level 6 stuff.
Yep.
All right.
show out.
So you transform into your avian counterparts and fly over towards it.
High away from it, but so I can still see it.
The ceiling is about
Yeah.
50, 60, 70-ish. And what you see is a freakish amalgamation of various parts floating in midair, and then a second, and then a third. Floating beaked brains trailing tentacles beneath them as they silently drift closer and closer to where your friends have just stepped out.
Yeah. After I see what it is, I'll fly back.
Well,
change
right
back.
about now is
Okay.
when you have to roll initiative.
Yeah.
Fun.
Sweet.
Let me clear the tracker.
I definitely still have Thaw summoned, so I don't have to do that.
Oh yeah. No, I have not put the gun away by this.
Yeah, no.
Not when we're deep underground. That thing's staying out.
And everybody should be on the correct page.
I
believe.
Yes.
I'm very excited for the inevitable cave-in.
I have to put my host away. I have to put my symbiote away after a minute, so I can't.
Yeah, but you've got a concealed symbiote carry license, so that's good at least.
Awesome.
19.
Damn, Diamond.
Well done.
Nice.
On track.
Look,
I was distracted by Cole turning into a bird.
I rolled the same thing for my initiative that I rolled for my perception.
You're keeping on brand. That's what's important.
Yeah. Can't disappoint people if I suddenly start being good at initiatives.
I wonder if the floating brains have a higher dexterity than I do.
Right one. Oh, hey, I rolled the same thing twice. Cool. Because the first one didn't stick.
All right.
It's like throwing pasta to a refrigerator.
So being notified that something is out there. Aurelia, what's your dex?
3. 16.
Okay. Zoe and Aurelia, you guys get to go first. These things are currently kind of here-ish.
Okay. So they're pretty far away from us right now? 'Cause this
Pretty
is
far.
Cavern. Within firing range of the rifle, because it's 80 to 160 feet.
Yeah, probably. You could definitely move and get in range.
Okay.
You'd have to kind of cheat to the side a little bit and get visual around the stalagnate. But yeah.
Yeah, I'll do that. I'll go around the side, and once I can see these things, and I can tell they're some sort of weird thing,
Yep.
not people.
Definitely not people.
I'm gonna hex one of them
Okay.
for my bonus action. So that's up. And then I'm gonna fire. Yeah.
Go ahead and take your shot.
23.
Oh, 23 definitely hits.
Alrighty. 9 piercing and 6 necrotic.
Okay. So once again, the thunderous sound echoes throughout this chamber and definitely carries some distance.
What are those?
Make me a nature check. Disadvantage.
Yep. 20 though.
20. You have heard stories of these.
Okay.
You don't know much about them other than there are creepy monsters called Grell
Okay.
that live underground and probably eat people.
Okay, cool. I want these to be slower coming toward us, so if it has to make an ability check, it's gonna have disadvantage on dexterity.
Yeah, okay.
That's it. Oh, actually, are we casting spells at 3rd level yet?
Yeah.
Yes. That is actually an extra... Oh, no, I can just concentrate on the spell longer.
Yes.
8 hours. Never mind. I'm good. That's my turn.
Okay. All right.
Seeing these. Oh,
And Zoe.
I'm next then.
Yes, you are.
So seeing these, do I know anything about them?
You can make me the nature check without disadvantage, since you've got
Cool.
some experience in the Underdark.
18.
Mostly the same.
Okay.
Scary monsters definitely eat people, live underground. But definitely predatory.
They're a ways off right now, huh?
They're probably about 60, 70 feet away.
Yeah, I don't have that much speed, and I also don't want to get that separated from the group.
Uh-huh.
So I'm gonna move up to where Aurelia is.
Okay. Are you holding an action, or...
Yeah, if any of them get into range, I'm gonna try and smack them with my pack blade.
Okay. That is definitely something that will probably happen. Cora.
All right. I am going to. Sorry, how far away?
About 60 feet right now.
And... All right, I will go ahead and pick one of them, and we will just enemies abound them.
No.
Okay.
Oh boy.
All right. Okay.
Spells with intelligence saves are the best because nobody ever.
Hardly anybody has intelligence saves. What's your DC?
My DC is 15.
15. That is an 11.
Ah!
So we know what he's going to be doing his first turn.
Amazing.
Yep.
And you know what? I don't really feel like running in, so I'm just gonna stay where I'm at.
Okay. That brings us to Cole, who is a bird somewhere up near the ceiling.
Yep, I will fly down to the edge of the torchlight and use my action to shift out of bird form.
Okay.
And just be like, tentacles, brains, beaks, weird, really gross, coming from over there. That's pretty
Okay.
much about all I can do. Actually, yep. bonus action. No, nothing else.
All right. Well, let's see.
I'll pull out a dagger.
Okay. So they all rush up to the front lines. And we'll start with the one who is currently affected and is in range of Aurelia. Well, is 10 feet away, so not quite in range of Zoe yet.
Okay.
Darn it.
Yep. They have tentacles. They have reach.
I no.
Tentacles are cool.
I can say that.
All right. So Diamond is number 1, Aurelia is number 2, Zoe is number 2, Aurelia is number 1, Zoe's number 2. The other 2 Grell are 3 and 4. Hey, it's going to attack one of the Grell. Okay.
Excellent.
Did it. We got there.
So it lashes out at its friend. Miss with the tentacles. Bites with the beak and also misses. 2 misses, but against one of its friends. The other 2, one will attack Aurelia, one will attack Zoe.
Seeing this, does it seem like the beak also has range?
No,
Okay.
the beak definitely does not. So, Aurelia, what's your AC?
Not good. 14.
14. That's a 10, so that's a miss.
Sweet.
Flies up a little closer with you, so these tentacles that are spiked and dripping some sort of chemical substance lash out. You manage to duck out of the way, and the beak comes in to snap at you.
Cool.
23 hits you, right?
Yes.
Yep. Okay, so you take 8 piercing damage. Zoe, this one's in range now. You can hit it if you want.
Yes, I want to hit it.
Okay. Go ahead and make your attacks.
All right.
Attacks. I don't know how many you have right now.
2. I have
2.
2.
23 definitely hits.
11 slashing.
Nice. Good solid hit.
16.
16 also hits. These are not terribly well armored, and they seem to be mostly made of...
Slashing.
Damn it.
They're made of meat.
I'm gonna become a fucking assassin once we reach level 10, for the record.
you're gonna start taking levels in Rogue, yeah?
Murder so hard.
Look, I have a few rogues in other games, and I just miss how much single target damage they can do.
It's true. And Roguelock is fun. I'm not gonna lie. Roguelock is a lot of fun. The other one is going to directly attack you, Zoe. What's your AC?
14.
So a 20 hits you. You take with the tentacles. As you strike at the other one, you feel something reach out and wrap around you. You take 10 piercing damage, and I need you to make a Constitution save.
My constitution's actually not as bad as I thought it was. Natural 1, though.
Oh!
And as the poison soaks into these wounds, you are paralyzed and grappled and restrained.
No.
At which point,
Can
So
I
go
just use a single icon to indicate that all of those things are the case?
yes, absolutely.
Cool.
So at the end of your next turn, you'll be able to make a save.
All right.
It bites out with its beak at you. Your AC is what again?
14.
14. The beak somehow misses, even though you're completely immobilized, restrained, and everything.
I was gonna say, though, he definitely has advantage from the poison.
He definitely has advantage, but still manages to snap just past your shoulder. And that's it for the Grell. Elishard.
Can I see them now?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
They are right up in y'all's
Could
faces.
Could I sort of flank out to the side and angle at such a way that I could get all of them in a 30-foot cone?
30-foot cone. Yeah.
All of them, but not not my allies.
You would you would probably hit Zoe with this.
Okay, that's fine. Zoe's paralyzed and can't run away. I'm going to sort of step off to the side, flanking, and I'm going to cast Fear,
Okay.
which is a 30-foot cone.
Yep.
So all creatures in that 30-foot cone must make a Wisdom saving throw, or drop whatever they're holding and become frightened for the duration, which is 1 minute. While frightened by the spell, a creature must take the dash action and move away from you by the safest available route on each of their turns. Unless there is nowhere to move, if the creature ends their turn in a location where they don't have line of sight, they can then make a Wisdom saving throw.
Okay. So Zoe, go ahead and make your Wisdom save, and I'll make the Wisdom saves for each of these guys.
And it's DC 16.
Okay.
I actually have an okay wisdom.
As
Oh, okay. I'm good.
So you're not frightened.
As just half of Elishard's face peels away to reveal the monster underneath.
So I like the idea that I would have been frightened, but there's just like, practically, there's nothing I could do about this.
So it's just like, well, I guess I'll die now.
So Zoe,
It's not so much, well, I guess I'll die now, as there's no recourse to this.
the tentacles retract from around you, as two of them are obviously terrified.
Cool.
One of them, who thinks everything is out to get it, apparently doesn't care because it already thought everything was out to get it.
Beautiful.
Yeah, the enemy's a bound one is the only one that succeeded on its on its save. Which
Am I
is
still
fantastic.
paralyzed because poison?
You are still paralyzed because of the poison, but other than that, you are no longer restrained or grappled.
So I step to the side, I growl menacingly, and two of them start running away.
Basically. All right. And that brings us to Diamond.
Cool. Definitely gonna run up and get behind the one. There's one still in front of Aurelia, correct?
All of them are still kind of around / in front of Aurelia.
Okay. Actually,
Because they haven't had their turn to run yet.
true. Yeah, I know I'm gonna get behind one of the ones that's on Aurelia and I'm gonna swing at it.
Okay. So are you trying to flank or?
Trying to flank.
Okay. Go ahead and roll with advantage then.
That's fine. You can attack them because they don't get to save unless they're out of line of sight of me. So
Right. So 22 hits.
For 10 slashing and 2 lightning.
Okay. So the sword bites into this thing, and you can see the gout open up as part of the tentacle and the brain are slashed by your sword. The lightning kind of over top of it. Lightning seems to have no effect.
And then second attack.
But it took 10 damage. And this was the one on Aurelia you were attacking, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Hit it again.
Yep, that hits it again.
For 13 slashing and 1 lightning.
Once again, no effect from the lightning, but this thing, you carve into it pretty deep, and brains don't necessarily have a lot of blood in them, but something's soaking out of this thing.
Gross.
Yep, a little bit. Which brings us back to Zoe. You're paralyzed, but you're not scared. So at the end of your turn, unless you have anything that you can do while paralyzed?
Nothing that I'm inclined to do right now.
Okay. So you'll make your save, and Aurelia take your turn as well.
Okay.
That's a con save, correct?
Con save, yep.
8.
You
No.
are still paralyzed.
Cool.
All right. I am going to if I try and grab Zoe to pull her away from this mob of things,
Uh-huh.
would that take an action, or would I have to like disengage to get to her? I don't know how close we are.
You guys are kind of shoulder to shoulder. So yeah,
Okay.
you could drag her away. It would take your action, but
Okay.
will be subject to at least one opportunity attack, however.
Yes.
Actually,
But I know what happens when
opportunities.
things are not moving and there are enemies around. So I'm gonna do that. I will
Okay.
pull her back as far away as I can get.
All right. So your AC again is
14.
14. So you take 10 piercing damage. Make a Constitution save.
Okay.
I'm waiting for it.
Let's see. I'm gonna actually do entropic ward on that. because I know that these things have poison now because I've seen the effect. So disadvantage.
Impose disadvantage on the roll.
Yep. Uh-huh.
Okay. Well, you don't get the crit.
Okay, well that's good. Darn it.
You
All
take
right.
10 piercing damage and you need to
10.
make a con save.
Okay. Tansei is my favorite and best ones.
Good. Glad to hear it.
Hey! Not that
You
time.
are not paralyzed.
Woo! All right.
You are, however, grappled, which means you're restrained, which means you can't move.
Dang it. Okay.
Yeah.
It's my
But
turn.
I'm going to say that since you were stopped there, it doesn't provoke the attack of opportunity for the other one since you didn't actually move anyway.
Okay. Cool. That's my turn.
That might not be entirely according to the books, but I'm good with it. All right. Korashana.
So, is there a way? I'm just gonna ask, and you tell me.
Okay.
Is there a way that I can center a 20-foot sphere, radius sphere, that manages to avoid these people and hit them?
Yes. It will not, however, avoid the sculpture in the middle of the room.
I don't give a shit about the sculpture.
Oh, God.
Okay.
Okay.
I am casting Hunger of Hadar.
Awesome.
As there's just a big 20-foot radius sphere of blackness howling with like Arctic winds on the outside.
Is it behind them? Are they gonna have to run through that to get away from me?
Technically, yeah.
Because that'll
Because up.
To that
So the only
darkness.
way you could fit that would be below them and opposite you. So yeah.
because that means that they're gonna break line of sight faster than I thought they would.
I mean, they are, but then they're gonna take an ass load of damage.
Yeah. I can see into your weird ball of darkness. This is a good image. Okay.
All right. So on their turn, they'll take some damage there.
Yes, they will.
All right. Cole, a huge sphere of blackness and icy cold has enveloped your targets. What you gonna do about that?
Definitely not gonna go in there.
Okay.
I guess I'll do what any sane person would do and fire blindly into it.
Okay. Sounds like a plan.
I'll move off to the side so that nobody's directly in front of me, and then I'll Eldritch Blast.
Okay.
I mean, the proper thing to do would be grab your bottle of wine, walk up, put it just inside, so it's properly chilled once it's
Unfortunately, I don't have. I have rations, so maybe I could chill those.
properly chilled and possibly possessed by tentacle demons.
Ooh.
Possibly. That's a
But
risk.
everybody wants in your wine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Fuck
All
yeah.
right. So Eldritch Blast's at disadvantage.
11,
11's a miss, unfortunately.
14.
14's a hit, though.
Awesome.
Nice.
Splash for 14 max damage.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
And also, you hit the one closest to you. Cool, 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 cool. Okay. And that brings us to the Grell. So for starters, Jeremy, I'm going to need you to roll me 2d6 cold damage.
6. Yep. This is the same thing. So 10.
All right. So all of
Double
them
fives.
all of them take 10 cold damage.
Yes, they do.
Boop.
Now the question is, can they run 40 feet? Because if not, by the end of their turn, they take 40. They take 2d6.
Well, they do have to. Two of them have to dash. So
Right.
Yeah. Two of them have to dash.
Nah, fair.
Right. So they are going to make it. Well, but it is also difficult terrain. And the entire sphere is difficult terrain. So even with a fly speed, I think.
Yep.
So 60. So they can make it 30 feet.
Yes.
So two of them take the dash action, make it 30 feet through the tentacle storm.
And take
Is that
this
one of the
much
ones that has
acid
me or
damage.
not?
11 acid damage.
All right. So you
Hey, good damage.
kill the one that has Aurelia. Aurelia, you are now deposited in the middle of Hunger of Hadar.
Sorry.
Great.
Sorry
Cool.
about that.
Wait. Was this the one that I was behind?
Yes, but you can't see them. They have total concealment against you.
I have double sight.
Diamond,
Yeah.
yeah,
So
Diamond
you
can see.
Okay, let me see if it says. Let me look at Hunger of Hadar and see if it says anything about dark vision.
It just says fear of blackness. It doesn't
Yep.
say
And
anything
Devil
about it.
Sight says normally in darkness, both magical and non-magical.
Oh, magical darkness. Yep. Okay. Yeah, you can take a swipe at it.
Yeah, this is the Warlock combo.
Yep.
Yep.
22.
All
Best
right.
Warlock.
22 hits the one that's not going to be dead.
Cool. Just
For
8.
8.
Yeah.
Okay.
I want to swing.
Sorry, I don't mean to kill, Seal.
no.
Meanwhile, let's see. You've got Hedon.
No.
No, you don't.
Elishard.
Or sorry, blah. You've got Elishard, Aurelia, Diamond, 1 Grell. I think that's everything that's within melee of this one that thinks everything's out to get it.
Yep.
Because everything is out to get it.
I mean,
Does it also include the tentacles in that?
on a 2, it's going to attack Aurelia.
Dang it.
Oh man.
All right.
Look, I'm trying. I can't
I know.
roll, let it roll.
Aurelia, you take 8 piercing damage.
Ow. Okay.
Make a con save.
All right. Hey.
You're paralyzed.
Wow.
And then it's got advantage against you with the beak attack because you have grapple. Does the 13 hit you?
Yes.
You take another 5 piercing damage.
Okay.
Oh boy.
All right. Which brings us to Elishard again. As
The ones that
they're-
the ones that can't see me get to make wisdom saves to see if they're still afraid or not.
Okay, so that's one of them. That's a 3.
Still afraid.
Yep. Still scared as shit.
All right, I can't see shit.
Not really. You know that it really is in there somewhere, though.
Yeah, but I don't know where. Which means I'm not going to fire in. Actually, how far away was I from the one that was sort of like spazzing out and attacking everything?
You were maybe 30, 40 feet from that.
I'm going to move up to the edge of the darkness and see if
Okay.
I can't lightning lure it.
Okay.
Over here.
It's a strength save. If it's in 15 feet, if it's within 15 feet of me, I can hit it with the lightning lure, and it makes a strength save or get pulled 10 feet closer. If it gets pulled 10 feet closer, then it takes 7 lightning damage.
It has to be a creature that you can see within range.
Oh, do you have to be able to see it? All right.
Yeah,
then I
mhm.
can't. Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, then I'm just gonna stand there and hold my torch because I can't see anything.
Okay. All right, Diamond. Aurelia just got dragged into the darkness by one of these things.
Yes. Is there one still close to us though?
Nope.
Nope. Okay.
Well, I mean, yes, the closest one to you is the one that has Aurelia.
Okie dokie. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. I go in and run up on the one that has Aurelia and stab it.
Okay, based on its movement. Yeah. Okay.
Well, if it had to dash.
No, that one didn't have to move
Yeah.
Oh.
because it was not scared. It's just lashing out at whatever it can.
Oh. Okay. Yeah. Okay. I'll run in and.
It's doing the combat version of the Kermit the Frog.
Yeah, pretty much.
Do I have advantage if it's grappling somebody?
Oh wait, it wouldn't have the enemies bound on it anymore. By the way,
No.
Why?
because Hunger of Hadar is also concentration.
Oh, you're right. You're
Ah.
right.
Okay.
That-
Well, that's probably why it attacked Aurelia then.
there you go.
We'll say. Redcons! Okay, so you rush in. You can still see just fine. So
Do I have advantage on the attack because he is currently grappling somebody, or no?
no, you do not.
That's a really fun. That's a really fun that they don't usually have for area of effect concentration spells. You can run in, and as long as you get out before the end of your turn, you took no damage.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
There we go. Swinging. That doesn't hit. Is it 9
Nope.
hit?
9 does not hit.
Second hit. Is it 12 hit?
12 just hits.
Woo! 14 damage.
All right. It is looking extremely rough.
Cool. And
You unfortunately, given that it's difficult terrain, do not have enough movement to get back out.
That's fine. This is fine.
Sorry.
Back
Fine.
away. Get back.
Dexterity saving throw.
Yep, so you need to make a dex save.
Oh, awesome. Here we go. All right. Oh, a 14. I
Good.
still will make it though, but that's
You-
really good for me.
Yep,
I need a 15. Okay.
yep. So 2d6 acid damage.
That would be 9.
9 acid damage
Rolling
to...
my frostbite because it's
Yeah, because it's also 2d. Yeah. Mhm.
yeah, 9 acid damage.
Yep. And that brings us back to Zoe and Aurelia, both of whom are paralyzed. So just make your Constitution saves.
Woo.
Take damage.
Natural 20.
Zoe's not
you.
paralyzed anymore.
Okay, we're paralyzed.
I don't get to do anything this combat, but I'm not poisoned.
Whatty?
And Aurelia is no longer paralyzed as well. Korashana, we're back to you.
At
did we
least
take-
Aurelia is in the sphere, so Aurelia.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Aurelia has to take
Small
2d6. Yep. Mhm.
Yep.
It's
2d6
okay. I
acid.
rolled low that time.
6 acid damage, Aurelia.
Oh, cool.
By the way, with the amount of rolls on this that I'm getting that are double rolls, I really wish I had Chaos Bolt right now.
Yeah, I know, right?
All right. Well, at this point, since I've heard enough death shrieks to imagine that that I'm doing at least as much damage to my friend that's in there as the enemies that are in there, I am dropping Hunger of Hadar.
Okay.
Oh, good.
And I'll move up close enough to use Chill Touch.
Okay.
To really Chill Touch for
Hey.
20 fucking damage.
Holy shit.
So
Oh
Wait,
my
what the
God.
fuck? That was 3-7 and 3-7.
yep.
I need you to email me that whatever program you're using to get the
What the actual fuck?
So, Korashana, usually Chill Touch goes out, it latches on, and there's that, burst of energy that kind of horrifically damages whatever it is.
Right.
This Chill Touch somehow reaches out, latches onto that beak, and bodily rips it out of the thing's brain.
I was gonna say, does it bring it back to me like a happy pet?
Right.
Look what I caught for you.
So that one is officially very dead, which means, fortunately, Aurelia will not be subject to its attacks. And did you have a bonus action you were doing?
No.
All right, Cole.
2 left.
1 left.
1 left. Okay. Eldritch Blast.
Cool.
9 and 14.
Second one hits.
Another max damage, 14.
Nicely done. And let's see. This one still has to... Nope, it took damage, so it gets to make the save.
No, it only makes the save at the end of its turn if it can't see me.
Yeah, I'm thinking of something else.
Yeah, you're thinking of like charm person or hold, or there's a lot of things that there are a lot of things that
I'm
charisma
thinking of
does.
enemies abound was the one
Yeah.
that let you make the save when you took damage. Yep. Okay.
Nope, he's just terrified.
It's running away and has still failed its save, so doesn't matter anyway. But it can no longer see you because you're outside of its blind sight range.
Yep.
And these things don't have great object permanence, apparently.
That's fine. He can just keep running away for the rest of his life.
Right. Well, it is your turn again if you'd like to do anything about that.
I can't. If it can't see me, I definitely can't see it.
You're not blinded anymore because Hunger of Hadar went away. So you can...
But I also only have like an
Well,
80
oh,
foot,
that's right.
an
You're only
80-foot
able to
range.
see within the torchlight. So,
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, it's out there in the darkness somewhere. I mean, you can kind of hear it
No,
if you wanted to run after it.
I'm fine with it running away terrified. I'm gonna go. The Hunger of Hadar did go away.
Yeah,
Okay.
we're trying to drop that.
Okay, then I'm gonna go walk out towards Aurelia and pick her up and carry her back over to the rest of the group.
I'm not paralyzed anymore.
You pick her up, Aurelia starts kicking.
Never mind.
Put me down.
That was I missed.
I can hit it.
I had to step away, which means I missed the part where you were no longer paralyzed.
That's okay.
Elishard would not have.
Okay.
I feel like Elishard might have done that anyway. I think.
Well,
that would
keep
be-
in mind that we made those rolls before the darkness dropped, so you absolutely did not see Aurelia become unparalyzed.
Yeah, I also didn't see Aurelia become paralyzed because Aurelia got yanked into the darkness when she became paralyzed.
Fair enough. However, it pans out.
So yeah, no, I'll
Aurelia
just.
is mobile.
I'm gonna go. Is Zoe still paralyzed?
Nope.
No. Okay, nobody's paralyzed. All right. In that case, I'm just gonna hang out because I'm not chasing after it.
Okay, Diamond, what are you doing?
There's one left.
There is one left.
How far away is it?
Probably about 40 feet from you at this point.
Cool. You know, yeah, Diamond's gonna be that extra person. She's going to wait.
You will have noticed that these things are technically flying.
I mean, like, how far off the ground are they?
3-4 feet most of the time. They're kind of just hovering there in midair.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna do this. Misty Step! I can do this.
Okay.
So I just, and then I use the last 10 feet to run up and stab it.
Okay.
The 12 just hits, right?
12 just hits.
8,
8 damage. Okay.
and then a 17.
Also hits
10 damage.
for 10 damage. Okay. And that brings us to Zoe and Aurelia.
I can only do that once. I need to remember to do that. Just talking to myself.
Can I still see it?
How far is your dark vision?
Normal, so probably not. Dark vision. There we go. 60.
60? Yeah, it's still within that.
Cool. Eldritch Blast,
Okay.
which is apparently not actually in my character sheet. Good job.
Yep.
So clearly I've never had to actually use my ranged attack before.
Right. Yeah, because you're an up close and personal sort of individual.
There we go. Never mind. It's the same attack roll as my pack blade, so I'm going to use that to make the
All right.
roll.
So the 11 misses.
Second beam. I believe we're at the level. Yeah, we have 2
Yeah.
beams.
mhm.
23.
Second one definitely hits.
All right. 2 damage while
2
I add
damage.
that to my actual character sheet.
So you don't use this very much. And the first one goes wide, and the second one kind of grazes it. It's still floating, Aurelia.
Yeah. I want to kill it. I really want
Yes,
to
you
kill it.
do. Do
Yeah.
it.
Okay.
With the gun.
With the gun.
Yeah. Aim. Sight. Fire. Ah! Damn it. 10.
So it's out there a little ways, and you're still recovering from the paralysis, and the gun sways a little bit. The bullet sails off and smashes into the far wall.
Fuck. I'm feeling this petty. Sure. Why not? I'm gonna click there's like a little piece on the side that I've attached. It's new.
Uh-huh.
Click a button.
Okay.
A lever on the side. I'm gonna fire that thing.
Okay.
So I'm just gonna where's the gun?
Where's the gun?
There it is. 26.
26.
Radiant
hits.
damage.
I'm sorry.
4. Please kill it.
It had 3 hit points.
Yes. So pleased.
This bright white beam just emanates from this crystal that's sort of mounted off to the side and a little below the general barrel. And yeah, you just laser a hole right through that thing's huge fucking brain, and it down onto the stone. And quiet falls over the cavern.
You do hear a quiet, holy shit.
Yeah.
I tilt my head to the side, looking over at Aurelia. What the hell is that?
You turn into a monster, she has a laser beam. It's fine.
We should. That's the tree we're supposed to find, right? Ow.
And as you look, there's a bit of weathering to the tree where the acidic nature of Hunger of Hadar kind of
Licked at it.
fucked up some of that sediment or chemically deposited stone.
It licked it like a salt lick. Yeah.
Bubbles with us.
Bubbles with us. Yeah, no, he's not.
No, Bubbles is at home, slowly eating his way through any organic matter he can find.
I'm so
Oh,
proud
no.
of him.
I could just
See,
put him-
that's why you have to hire an ooze sitter, guys.
Yeah.
We come back and the ooze sitter is eaten.
Well, I mean, that sometimes happens, but only to incompetent ooze sitters. All right. So the cavern is quiet now. What are you guys gonna do?
Rest.
Ow.
Can
Wait.
anybody read this? And I'm going to point to the runes and stuff that we saw on the wall.
With my, I'm going to go start looking at it with my eyes of the rune keeper.
Oh, you don't even have to make a roll for it then.
Ha ha.
At several points throughout the cavern, Korashana, you read, "You tread in the domain of the House of Silence and Fate. Draw no weapon, make no demand, at peril of your bloodline's existence."
Can you put that in check? Because I went to go try. I was in the process of writing it down as you were saying it.
Absolutely.
You were fast.
Sorry.
It's okay. So yeah, they walk up, they look at it for a second. Interesting.
Directions? Is it like a hey wait
yes.
here?
More of rules, I suppose would be the easiest way to say it. We're not to draw weapons or make demands.
Well, late.
Sheathe my dagger.
Thoughts exactly.
I imagine.
What's done is done.
I imagine that's in relation to meeting the people who own the territory, not in chasing off floating brains with beaks and tentacles.
You may be.
Can I fact check that assumption?
Yes, you can. Go ahead and give me a history check.
Never mind. Apparently, so just cannot roll this fucking history stuff.
May be correct. That said, we should be prepared for the second part of the consequences part, which is the peril of our entire bloodline's existence.
So everyone should put away their weapons, is what I'm hearing.
Yes.
That would be a good idea.
Aurelia,
Doing nothing.
what's your passive perception?
My passive perception is
Oh, you have a perception.
12.
Elishard, what's yours?
14.
Korashana, what's yours?
Also 12.
Cole?
19 with my raven on my shoulder.
Okay. Diamond? Diamond?
10.
10. And Zoe?
Also 14.
Also 14. Right about now is roughly when, Cole, you see just the faintest movement out of the corner of your eye, and as you turn to look, let's see how this goes. Two. Korashana, what's your AC?
13.
13, okay. Wow. All right. Everybody except Aurelia. You feel something just into your body somewhere. Everybody make me a Constitution save.
Oh my god.
Oh God.
Oh, sweet.
Oh my
So
god.
cool. So cool. I love this.
Oh my god.
That's
Hey,
fucking amazing.
This is actually good news because it means we don't have an opportunity to screw it up.
Wow. I
13 guys.
got a mighty 13, which is compared to everybody else.
So Aurelia, you
Yeah.
just hear thuk, 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 and something whistles past your ear.
Okay.
All of your friends immediately just collapse into the stone, and you are left standing alone by yourself.
Okay.
A hay out of Cole before he got shot.
To say, I hang on to my weapon because it's already drawn. Damn it!
Mm-hmm.
Who's out there looking around?
which is you see 6 figures clad in these sort of leathery looking cloaks that have a very kind of mottled rocky like pattern to them, blends in very well with the surroundings.
Yep.
Step up, all holding small hand crossbows out, leveled directly at you.
Yep. I don't have the gun like pointed at anything. I think I had like, so it's just.
And
We were attacked.
what languages do you speak?
I speak Common and Draconic.
All right.
So I
speak all languages, but I'm unconscious.
probably start with Common because it's common. We were attacked. If they don't respond to that, I will repeat it in Draconic.
All right.
Defending ourselves.
Tune in next week for the next Grand Terra King.
One of them
Oh, yeah,
one of them throws back the hood on their cloak. You see You see dark skin, pointed ears, pale hair, not quite white, with just the faintest tinge of golden color to it. The rules apply in all situations. Who are you and why have you come?
Worth noting, I didn't draw a weapon, so they darted me for no reason.
Also, all of you take 2 piercing damage that got hit.
Ow.
Owie.
So there's no rule about if I'm unconscious but not dead for my symbiote.
Right.
If you're unconscious, your symbiote, which lives in your body, is also unconscious.
I guess I should. It probably doesn't matter at this point, anyways. But I'm assuming this is not a spell.
No, this is a poison. Yeah. Good question, though. Yes.
What's the last thing they said?
Who are you and why have you come?
Okay. Of course. My name is Aurelia Clementine Everins, and we have a job that we were trying to hire you for. Or
A contract we're negotiating with them for.
the contract.
Yeah.
Show me this contract.
Of course. Who was carrying it? Do I remember?
Woden, who's not here.
Okay. Wotan, I will go over to Wotan, and who I'm assuming is on the ground,
Yep, Wotan's definitely on the ground.
and pull out the contract and hand it over to the person I was speaking to.
Okay. She turns after looking at it, murmurs something to one of the others that you don't understand. They respond and seem to be. Go ahead and give me an intelligence check disadvantage.
Okay.
See how much you're catching off of.
Sure. I'm also just trying to gauge, because like a lot of things are happening at once. I'm trying
Mhm.
to gauge how they're all watching me fairly closely right now. I am imagining it would be fairly hard to pull off a spell at this point.
Oh, they're watching you very closely, and you've got
Cool.
at least 4 crossbows pointed at you.
Sweet. 5.
Okay. Yep. Hard to tell what sort of discussion's going on here.
Okay.
Everybody who got knocked out can make me another Constitution save. Cole, you're still asleep.
Nope.
14.
I'm getting worse.
Elishard, you're still unconscious.
Despite
doubled
being
my roll.
unconscious, can I spend inspiration?
Yeah.
Cool. That gives me advantage in this context.
No, it would be an extra D8 to your roll.
This is no one's individual fault, but everyone needs to stop having different rules.
For DM inspiration.
16.
Zoe, your eyes blink open. As they do, you hear a voice that you actually can understand. Aphedriel, this one wakens. Watch her closely then. And you can see pointed down at you a hand crossbow of familiar construction. You've seen these before.
No sudden movements. Resisting eye rolling at.
Aurelia, the contract is handed back to you. We'll take you to speak with the matriarchs then. Bear in mind, the judgment of your actions here is still in the balance. Conduct yourself accordingly.
Yes, and my companions?
The same. They will come with us once they awaken.
Your kindness and as Aaron realizes that that's not a word I can say, is appreciated.
I'm going to put my weapon down then.
Very well. Okay.
And I will put the gun down and walk away from it far enough. And I'm trying to get it so that it will disappear on me. I think if it's over 5 feet away from me.
I think it's a little longer than a little further than that, but
I think it just
5 feet away from you for 1 minute.
yeah.
Yep.
So it'll have to sit for a bit, but yeah.
Yep.
Everybody who's still unconscious, go ahead and make me another con save.
20.
Elishard, you awaken. Cole's still snoozing.
I speak.
20.
Diamond is awakened.
For whatever it's worth, I speak Undercommon.
Still
naturally.
getting worse.
So Cole and Korishana are still out. Wotan kind of groans a bit and sits up and notes that numbers being what they are, this is still probably not a good time to react aggressively. 2 of them begin to pull out hooked knives and start carving up the grell. After a few minutes, Cole and Korishana, you guys both come around and wake up to see 6 or so drow.
Guys, there's something over there.
I don't continually get worse and just slip into a coma.
No.
the drow are better with poison than that.
Right. It's an incapacitating poison, not a murdering poison.
Mm-hmm.
They save that for other things.
Great.
Pull the dart
I
out of my neck.
begin because we're pretty close and this doesn't require any movement on my part. I begin explaining what happened before to Zoe. I woke up, or you all fell and they came out of the rocks.
I hope you apologized.
No.
Aurelia tries to remember if she apologizes.
No, I did not. No, I explained our actions.
Surprisingly, all of you have had the darts removed from you rather expertly. There doesn't seem to be any residual, like, bleeding or anything.
Just sort of looking around. What are the?
Sorry, go ahead.
I was just saying, what are the drow doing now that most of us are awake?
Watching and waiting. Mostly they seem to be waiting for 2 of their number to finish butchering the grell.
Is there any chance that my closet took the dart?
Make a sleight of hand check for your closet.
God.
Advantage for being invisible?
Yeah.
Okay. 11.
So there are a number of things that seem to have these drow on edge. One of which is the fact that after sitting there for a minute, that gun just went.
Yep.
The other is that when they went to pull the dart out of Korishana, it was already sort of floating in midair, being tugged on a little bit. And they grabbed it, and there was definitely more weight attached to the thing for a brief second than there should have been.
And let's
Shathal has gained enough sense of self-preservation to not try and take on 6 to 8 assassins at once by himself, though. So
Right.
He's just stayed invisible and been angry, like normal,
I'm just trying to get a feeling for how the drow are feeling at the moment. If they are particularly angry at us, anxious, just concerned, or what.
They're on edge.
Yep.
You know that drow are primarily assassins. That's at least the reference that your time as a warder has sent for you. And an assassin on edge is usually a terrible idea.
Yeah.
Because they're mostly good at one thing, and when you're mostly good at one thing, most problems get solved in that manner.
Yeah.
But at the moment, they seem to be holding their peace, although they are very, very watchful. After the butchering is complete, however, the one who seems to be the leader steps up to you all as a group. It seems that you have negotiations to conduct with the matriarchs. So, you will follow us, and we will show you where it is that you must go in order to speak to those with whom you have business. You may have questions along the way. These will not be answered. Do not bother asking. Come.
Yep.
And with 4 in front and 4 behind, they sort of herd you guys into a little knot and start going to the northern entrance to this cavern.
Yep.
Like this, I don't like this, I don't like this.
Your guides lead you through another maze of tunnels, never really stopping or pausing at intersections, continually moving with a speed and silence that is difficult to match. Another few hours of travel pass, all of you clattering along in an effort to keep up with their pace, Wotan especially kind of struggling, short legs. But then finally the band halts at the edge of a precipice that drops away into utter darkness. Those of you with dark vision, you can't see the bottom, you can't see the other side. One of them, however, pulls out a short bow and aims off into the darkness, loosing a shaft that arcs away into the shadows and is lost. After a few minutes, you hear a high-pitched whistling sound. And suddenly 2 long ropes swing into view, and they're quickly caught by the escorting drow. They have foot loops at the bottom, and 2 of them immediately step on and swing away into the darkness. After about a minute, the whistling is heard once more as the ropes come back, and it's caught again. So, who is first? Who is second?
I'll step up.
Forward.
Okay. So Zoe and Elishard, you guys grab onto these. They nudge your feet into position and just kind of unceremoniously shove you off the edge of a cliff.
Seems
The
reasonable.
air rips past your ears pretty quickly, and you swing and you swing and you swing, and you can feel yourself dropping in elevation before finally, roughly at where the rope starts to creak, and you start to ascend once again. And Elishard, you can't see anything because you can't carry a torch on this ride that's happening.
Yep.
So out of nowhere, you feel hands just grab around you.
Yeah.
Zoe, you can see the landing platforms coming. There's 3 drow there, poised, and they sort of just catch you as you swing in. They help you down, and then one of them realizes, oh, that guy's blind, and whistles up, and there's a faint glint that you can finally see, Elishard, probably about 30 feet away or so, as a single drow holding a glowing faceted crystal comes up and just sort of stands nearby you, casting dim light in about a 40-foot radius. And you can now see that these are stone platforms that have been carved into a cliff face. They haul the ropes up to a higher platform and throw them off so that the pendulum effect actually gets as far as it needs to go. The rest of you on the other side hear the ropes coming back. Another 2 drow get on and go. And then the ropes return. Who's going third and fourth?
Me.
Okay. So
Sure.
Diamond, you get on. Cole, you get on. The two of you go through this long journey. It's at least 300-400 feet across, whatever this thing is. Just a massively huge crevice in the ground that you swing across, land on these platforms, are helped down, and then eventually, procedurally, the rest of you manage to get across. And then finally they send the last rope, and that last drow comes over, and the ropes are stowed and stored. And right about now is when you can see another passage leading into this fairly sheer cliff face. You're led down a series of winding stone halls, obviously carved deliberately, paved and maintained. They open out onto, after probably a couple 100 yards of transit distance, a large plaza in an open chamber, surrounded by stone buildings, dimly lit in just a few places, and dominating the area at the far end of this open sort of square almost. As a multi-storied structure, a few tall doorways looming to allow entrance on the ground level. Ornately carved columns displaying elvish figures of various sizes line the exterior, supporting the upper floors and balconies of this edifice. The entire effect kind of projects an aura of indelible power, determination, wealth, and a lethal sort of aesthetic beauty.
How old is it? I'm looking around at everything.
Okay. Give me a history check.
This is what I do. 20.
Based on the the tree sculpture was hard to tell because it had been carved, but then it's gotten soaked over, and that may have been carved again, and blah 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 blah. These being a little more static, you're guessing a couple thousand years at least,
Okay.
if not longer.
All right. Does the okay? So, question for Zoe is: does Zoe wear like stuff that is fairly definitively drow, or do you sort of like blend in and basically wear the "I'm gonna blend in with a crowd" kind of thing?
You've seen Zoe in a lot of different clothes.
Okay.
I think the only thing, Jack, correct me if I'm misremembering this, the only things you've seen Zoe wear or own that are super definitive are, one, the cloak we just got recently,
Yep.
and two, that dress that I used to blind a guy.
All right.
Yes.
Cool. I'm basically trying to establish
You
if those
saw
things
that because
exist
it was
in all this.
admittedly being used as a weapon.
To wrap around a basilisk's head, but
Yep.
but it was definitely drow in nature, in
Okay.
make. Yep.
I'm wondering if I can verify or evaluate Zoe's claim to be this long lost heir to a throne.
I mean, Zoe is definitively at least half drow.
Okay,
So there's
yes,
that.
that.
That,
There's that,
in
yes.
that context, yeah, that's obvious from a physical.
Mhm.
As far as that go, while there are a number of scholars and researchers that are very interested in drow society, drow
Yes,
culture,
okay.
drow architecture, getting access to it is nigh impossible. And so
Okay.
most of what you're aware of in terms of academic knowledge regarding the drow
Mhm.
is rumor and conjecture at best.
Okay, but the aesthetic matches. That's basically
yeah.
all I'm
Mhm.
asking.
Yeah, the
Okay.
aesthetic is, I mean, it's a little off, but it's there's some similarities. You can pick up some consistencies.
All right, I'm just looking around.
But you guys are led inside and quietly deposited into a small side parlor. You're provided with a glass of wine each, as well as some food to tide you over.
I have a question on Eldritch Sight. It says you
Yeah.
can cast Detect Magic at will. Does that still use like all the components? So I would still have to make a visual sign.
Yes, you would still have to use your any verbal and somatic components that would be required.
Okay.
Yep.
Are they getting less on edge now that we are presumably surrounded by more of them?
They seem a little more relaxed, and then they step out of the room, and the door is shut, and the door is locked, and you are left to your own devices for a bit.
I cast Detect Magic.
Nothing seems to change.
Okay. Cool.
Jack, so now that we're actually in, do I have any advice I think would be important, useful, relevant to give the rest of the party?
In terms of, obviously there's the stuff Lenore told you. Be polite. Don't be obsequious, but be very, very polite and respectful, you know?
Though they heard that part.
Right, yeah. In terms of dealing with drow, they might not be familiar with the matriarchal nature of the society, so that might be relevant information for them. And otherwise, just, yeah, you're negotiating with an entire hornet's nest right now. So, you know, common sense.
Well,
if anybody has any of that, I don't know.
I've played many games with these people. They're much more optimistic than I am. But Zoe will say, understand what we came here for. Be patient, be cautious. If you don't have anything to say that's polite, the safest thing to do is keep your tongue in your mouth, both before or it is forcibly removed.
On our way in here, I was trying to listen to see if I could tell what language people were speaking, and if I understood it.
So it's definitely something with an elvish root. Do you speak Undercommon?
I do speak Undercommon.
Then yeah, you would have been able to pick it out. Yeah.
Okay. I was trying to figure out if I was going to need to cast tongues on somebody, or if... looking at the rest of the party. So who wants to lead negotiations then?
I am the one in the best position to do that, as we discussed before.
I thought you didn't want to lead negotiations, unless I'm misremembering something about how...
Yes, you're misremembering. Out of character, because I don't feel like... Zoe mentioned that I can't be the one petitioning on behalf of the group's interests, but I can act as sort of a translator intermediary.
That's what I'm talking about. Like, the person, like, if you can, you just said you can't petition on the group's interest, but then you said that you were the best one to petition on the group's interest. Which one is the correct one?
Yeah, so...
The question that I'm asking is who wants to lead negotiations, not who wants to be a translator.
DM, do you want to help me? Because...
Yeah, so Zoe is in the best social position to be the one doing most of the talking. Right. In terms of who's going to, and so for all appearances, she will be leading the negotiations.
Okay.
Right. Now, she is not, however, and it's a delicate balance. And Zoe, if you want to have mentioned this to everybody, that's perfectly fine. In that, as the primary talker mouthpiece, it will be helpful for Zoe to at least appear marginally unbiased towards one side or the other.
Mm-hmm.
So it will very much be a fun game of telephone where somebody else will be presenting the group's conditions, but Zoe will be the one saying them.
Mm-hmm. And when we initially did this, Woden volunteered for that role, but he's not here.
Yeah. Right, but Woden's got paralyzed venom sick, which is weird for a dwarf, but sometimes happens.
Yep.
So yeah, I'm trying to figure out who's going to be the person doing the, not the talking.
Who's
back
going
and
to be
forth.
today's
Wotan.
Who's going
Yeah.
to be acting?
Who's going to be doing the Wotan part? Yes.
Who's going to be doing the performance piece?
Mm-hmm.
It's a longer game of telephone because we're actually hiring them on behalf of another group.
Yes. What was this hire again? Where's the contract?
We're
Should be in the handout.
we are attempting to negotiate a price for the entity Obsidian to engage House Yangere to cut the strings around Erigil Kamenor of Breath Drill Lane in Dancer's Court by circumstances accidental or natural. It must be completed no later than Warlocks the 16th of the current year, which I don't know how far away that is.
If you look at the calendar, that's basically Warlocks is next month.
So the 16th of next month.
Yep.
Okay.
And the full payment, which is the amount that we are here to negotiate, will be provided upon acceptance, which we have, I believe, with us.
Yes, you do have the 2,000 gold that was allotted.
Yep.
Yeah,
2,000
and so
gold.
we have up to 2,000 gold to negotiate.
Zoe, what's the
Yes,
general
but-
price for this?
So it's basically
Which is
3
that?
weeks of Conflux time as it stands currently.
That is complicated and depends upon many factors. The best we can, unless GM wants to give me more information.
So, your understanding of contracts is fairly minimal at this point because that's not usually the part of the business you're involved in. With 3 weeks out for an assassination is kind of an accelerated timetable.
Mhm.
Also, they are obviously going to be much more interested in getting as much money as possible, so they're probably going to start pretty high. And it'll basically be, can we chew them down to 2,000 or below? And is there anything we can offer or provide that might sweeten the pot a bit without actually violating the terms of the contract?
Right.
So things like, you won't be able to provide anything in terms of supply, transit, logistic, organization, equipment. Any of that is already out because the contract says we're not offering that.
Mm-hmm. One must hope that Woden's contact is informed enough about the value of such things to have given us a reasonable amount to work with given the timetable.
So,
Though if anyone has any bright ideas, I'll convey the rest of that information. They wouldn't be bad to keep in a back pocket.
does anybody have any experience negotiating then, since we're trying to figure out a replacement for Wotan?
You're muted, Mara.
Yes.
We just need somebody to say.
Really says yes.
We literally just need somebody to say words so that Zoe can translate those words into what actually needs to be said. And when I say words, I don't mean they even need to make sense.
Perfect. I can do that.
I could just babble gibberish. And it would functionally work as long as I made it look good.
Remember what I said about being respectful?
I feel like
I understand, but
No, your point is taken,
yeah.
but
I'm not saying like something like that.
Don't worry, if I need to do that, I can do it directly into her brain instead.
I feel like that's
Got the image of me.
counterintuitive.
Yes.
which is when the door squeaks open. And a male drow in very reserved clothing steps in. And in pretty decent common. If all of you would follow me, please. The matriarchs are prepared to hear your request.
Nod.
Yes.
And you guys are led down a hallway into a fairly large chamber. There is a small dais set towards one end, and a number of benches, padded, are placed facing it. And in 3 chairs of equal height at the far end on the upper platform, you see 3 female drow, all apparently dressed in some level of ceremonial garb, fairly ornate. The one in the center is notably older than the other 2. And the one to your guys' right as you approach and are seated begins addressing you all in Undercommon. So, you have a request from customers above. Tell me the details and provide the contract to your attendant. Gesturing to the plainclothes male drow who led you in, who just sort of holds out a hand.
That's right, Mars. I believe Aurelia still has the contract.
Yes. And I do not understand Undercommon. I'm assuming you
So Zoe, you can definitely see Aurelia's got a blank look on her face, like, okay, what's going on here? And we can just assume that you translate if you want.
Yeah. I'll serve as the translator as well, but in this specific sentence, Aurelia, the contract, and then nodding towards the attendant.
Yes. I will hand the contract over. We have a contract from Obsidian who wishes to employ your I can't word it very well.
House Yangere.
Yes.
Capabilities?
Your capabilities, which are impressive as demonstrated in
Wotan's still kind of rubbing his neck.
Yeah.
Over the side.
Zoe's doing a really remarkable job of not just strangling and flinching.
Yep.
As Aurelia completely disregards everything the party had agreed upon in advance.
In assassinating Erigel Kaminor of Breathdrill Lane, Dancer's Court.
The contract is transferred, looks at it, passes it down to the one in the center, who also reads it and transfers it to the third. Once they're all apprised of the contract, the one on the other end. Very well. This is a standard appearing agreements. We have knowledge of the general causes and conditions for this. Very clearly stated. Our thanks to Obsidian. We will conduct this effort for him. 3,500 crowns.
We do not have that much. We have 2,000, but we are. But we are also warlocks and have considerable magical capabilities. at our disposal. I can offer you a service in addition to the 2,000 that may be of use. A sensor, invisible, wherever you would like, within 1 mile.
So this is what is told to you, Zoe. Do you translate all of that exactly?
Yeah.
Okay, my internet's working.
Yep. You're
Sorry.
good.
I was having some trouble refreshing Roll20, and my solution to that accidentally screwed up my entire internet.
Oh, okay. Did you get to hear everything that Aurelia had said?
I think so.
Okay.
We have
Basically-
2,000 warlocks.
And
Remember,
I'll do you
it's
a magical
just
favor.
words. Turn it into the actual negotiator.
You realize they have someone also. They have
Speaks
their own
common.
translator hashed like current-ish political jokes here.
I'm gonna, yeah, I was gonna say.
But Zoe will sort of Matr, here, Max, your efficiency is appreciated and commendable. We understand this is a short order request. Those aren't the words. Whatever. We understand that this is a short order request. However, Obsidian has given us our parameters for the cost, and as outlined in the contract, actually, what level of what is not to be provided by our end. We hope that at a lower price can be found, and to that end, there are those among us who can offer a form of value rarely seen. If it seems like I have permission to continue.
Yeah, they'll sort of make a gesture for further details.
Are the esteemed matriarchs familiar with the traditions of the Warlocks and the Surface's great game?
That raises a few eyebrows. Yes, we very much are aware of the machinations that proceed largely within the city at such times. And rumor has even reached the deep realms here that the Warlocks have once again returned.
I'm sure you're aware such magic can be very valuable and versatile in what it can provide. Still not entirely sure what Aurelia wants to offer, so I'm trying.
Sorry. Basically, clairvoyance spell.
As Aaron quickly goes to the compendium because we discuss this in game, but
Sorry.
no, it's fine. It's been several weeks, and
Invisible sensor within a mile. That's what I said.
There's a murmur back and forth as the older one leans ahead to one side and then the other, whispering behind a hand. To you, child. Addressing you directly, Zoe.
Mhm.
Are you one of these warlocks?
Indeed. Though
House Yangere, if I am not mistaken.
my loyalty lies first with them, of course.
Interesting. Well, that does give more scope to the bounds of our negotiation, then. There are incidents that we could find employment for you and possibly your companion. Give us numbers.
Okay, I know this was literally 2 minutes ago, but what was the number?
So you guys have 2,000 gold currently. Whether or not you want to tell them that's how much you have, or you want to offer less, that's up to you guys.
We have this number. And specifically, it was suggested that perhaps you would be interested in, and I give a concise, potentially a bit vague description of what clairvoyance does, because reiterating what Aurelia said.
Okay.
Might hate such service is bring down the price is by a 1,600, which would bring it to that if I am remembering all of the numbers right.
Yep. A little more negotiation goes back and forth. The magical effects of which you speak are not unknown to us. We ourselves are aware of various magics and sorceries that even those of you on the surface may be unlearned in. And basically what's going to happen is they're going to be like, where have you been that's interesting enough for us that you could put one of these sensors there?
All right. So I will, if I can do so respectfully, switch back to common and speaking mostly but not entirely to Aurelia. If you go off or to play the signal, it must be in a place you are familiar with. Where could you offer? Where do you wish to offer? It might hold enough value for this to transpire.
Well, that'd be still. We've been traveling a really long time. A mile is not that long.
Yeah, no, mile is not going to get very far.
No. Is that even within the range of the tree? Probably the tree sculpture.
No, tree is well beyond a mile.
I'll sort of lean over and to Zoe. Are they asking for a location within a location from here, or would they be able to have somebody on the surface receive the image?
That's the way the spell works. I see it. And then I can inform them. I can go to some place that I am not familiar with as well.
Think of something specific enough for me to negotiate with. Or think of a different magic to offer.
Well, we've only been near enough for the spell's range with them next to us. I don't think that would be useful. I also have magic that can detect thoughts and tell me what someone is thinking. If they have someone they need to question, that can be useful. Or they are unsure of.
So we'll let being a bit thrown off, forced to change tactics show.
Okay.
Not like, but
Right.
But I'm not gonna try and hide that from them. That
right.
If they are looking for cues. If a companion suggests that such magic of location might have the most use if cast near a place of interest, or perhaps upon the surface, which would perhaps be upon the surface, as the spell has limited extents where it can reach. However, we have a more immediate possibility for the matriarch's gentle consideration. And Zoe will, again, vague but clear description of roughly what detect thoughts can accomplish.
So
that
you just
does acknowledge that it is a spell cast by self.
Right, like, yeah. You can't necessarily grab somebody's thoughts and give them to somebody else, but you can pick up. At which point, there's a little bit of a discussion back and forth again. And one of them points at Diamond. Perhaps we can come to an arrangement, then. There is information that we require. Not from any prisoner or anyone within direct captivity or location here. A distance to the east. There are tribes of beings with whom we do not fight openly, but whose attempts at expanding territory frequently conflict with our own holdings. If you and your companions are able to retrieve within a few days knowledge of what their leaders plan over the next, shall we say, near future, several months or a year, perhaps. That is a favor that would be worthwhile to us.
All right. I will pass that off or as a possibility along to the group.
Why did they point at Diamond? In your mind. Probably.
I don't know if I can respond.
You can't respond to that.
It's okay. You
no,
can
I was
respond.
going to include that information anyway.
Okay.
I might assume that these people are the kinfolk, or at least species kin, and whatever the proper term for that is, I don't know. I'm going with species kin.
Species kin, I think.
Of Diamond's ancestor, or parent, extra dad, whatever Diamond had defined this person as.
My dad.
Yeah. Diamond hasn't really talked about it a lot.
No.
Diamond doesn't know that much about it.
That would be Diamond's geological father.
Yeah.
I hate you.
Hey, I get to make that joke.
It's beautiful.
Accepted.
Yes, I'm not. I have no issue with the adoption joke.
Right,
I have an
right,
issue
right.
with the pun.
Come on, it was right there.
It was
If
right there.
I didn't say it, somebody was going to.
It was.
No, I know, and that's what's so annoying about it.
It was there like a collapsing strata.
I'm glad I don't get that one, and we're not going to explain it.
Nope.
All right, yeah. Is that something you feel is within our capacity?
Not really. But I don't want to make them mad either, because we really need this. I can try. I can try.
The
Are
request.
we able to do this? I'm not interested in.
The request was for a year's worth of foreknowledge.
Maximum.
A couple months.
For the next months or
Month.
years, what they are
Months or
planning.
years. Okay. Yeah, I was trying to. Months or
So that
years.
could be accomplished by detect thoughts, clairvoyance, happening to convince
Yeah.
them to tell us, but all of those involve a level of subtlety and charisma that this party. Zoe will express some level of skepticism of our capabilities in this area. But if people say yes, I'll say yes.
I'm not to be offended not to be offensive to anyone, but I am in doubts as to our capability to fulfill that particular request.
I think we might be able to.
I
do it.
Can't hear
Hear
you, Nikki.
Oh, it'd be rude to ask for a different one.
Well, this is a negotiation, offering.
It
Back and forth.
would be rude to ask for a different one. It would be more useful to have a concrete suggestion, perhaps based on their demonstrated interest, or perhaps simply powerful enough on its own to be compelling. My magic is the destruction of things and not particularly irrelevant here. My area is also not particularly relevant here. If no one has anything to offer me, I'll keep trying.
Jack,
Yo.
can I think of something like having been an investigator previously and sort of dealing with people and negotiations at some level? Can I think of any sort of counteroffer that would be relevant to their interests, but more in line with our skills?
I mean, you could. You could offer to just
I'm
flat
asking
out
if I
murder
can-
some shit.
Yeah, I'm asking if I can make a roll that would give me some divine GM inspiration as to what might be an appropriate counteroffer that my character might think of, but I, the player, might not.
Can I think of anywhere Aurelia has been that, like, I understand that Aurelia backed off on clairvoyance because turns out it doesn't work like that, but
Got limits.
is something that she's operating from a different location that would be actually interesting with my limited knowledge of Aurelia's history.
Both of you give me just straight up either insight or intelligence checks. One of the two.
Insight.
Me or is that
Natural fucking 20. Aurelia, where have you been that's secret?
Insight 17.
What the fuck?
Elishard, you mostly know that this group is good at killing things. Now, going to an assassin's place and being like, hey, we're good at killing things, do you need some things killed, is a little bit Coles to Newcastle. But if there's anything that just needs to be openly and dramatically obliterated, you're probably a little bit better at that than they are. So, shows of force, you know,
Okay,
that sort of thing.
I've got an idea now, but I'll let Zoe
Okay.
question answer.
Zoe, you are trying to think where Aurelia's been based on what you've seen and heard from her. And since you got a natural 20, I can pretty much tell you, yeah, Aurelia's been nowhere that's going to be helpful.
Great. Great.
Sorry to just shut that one down for you, but I am
Given it's
racking
a
my...
natural 20. Am I aware if anyone else in the party also has clairvoyance?
Clairvoyance?
I don't think anybody else has that in their spell list, no.
Cool.
Yeah.
So I'll speak up to Zoe. While subtlety probably isn't definitely isn't our strong suit, if perhaps they could use a fantastical show of force, something to threaten or prevent action in another area, we could definitely provide that.
Sorry, Korshana also rolled for general ideas, I think.
Oh, okay.
Because Cora, A, thinks it's fucking hilarious that nobody thinks that this group can be subtle.
Right.
But B, has absolutely no inclination to encourage going to that particular group of people for reasons.
Mm-hmm.
So was happy to let the group think that and wants other
Right.
options.
I mean, the main thing that you're picking up, Cora, is this is a stated need.
Right.
It's unlikely that they have other needs that are more severe that they would be willing to tell you about.
Right.
Because then it's just revealing our weaknesses
yes,
to an
exactly.
outside party.
It's vulnerability and
Right.
Yeah.
So yeah,
That's right.
if you can spin something on the underground DAO side of things, that's probably going to be the most palatable to them to accept. Other than that, it would probably take about a week of undercover work if you were going to try and actually figure out what else might be going on down here.
Okay.
The only thing that kind of piqued your interest is that you haven't... Apparently they know shit about magic without actually possessing any magic themselves.
Yeah, I'm good. I've noticed.
Which is a little weird.
Right.
And you're kind of wondering what's that about.
I believe I rolled at a previous point to know that there is some magic that is just Underdark magic.
Mm-hmm.
If they also have any spells or something affecting an area, I may be able to figure out what it is and remove it.
That is way too broad and requires a lot of trust.
I think
No one has better ideas. Can I get a general ideas roll? Or probably not, because I already rolled the thing.
You already did your insight for trying to figure out with what Aurelia had initially been suggesting, but with your knowledge of Drow society and having some background, you would get the same sort of things that Korashana.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. After that, turning back to the group, we can certainly make an effort towards it's not the skills of our collective the skills of my allies lie perhaps not in such subtle arts. And trying to make it sound more like negotiation and a counter offer than it was initially presented to me.
Mm-hmm.
That thought of the possibility of a show of force if they wanted one, or something more specific to an area. Yeah, that's basically what I can do.
There is, of course, every possibility, it being a rather hazardous effort, that should you go on this investigation, there will be need for a great amount of destruction. Or, if you are more inclined, you may simply remain here for several weeks, perhaps, and we will give you assignments as they arise to defray the costs, naturally.
I will convey those possibilities to my allies.
I have a family dinner next week.
Wotan will be like, we have that robbery job to do for our landlords in a week or two.
Sounds like they definitely want us to go check out the Dow. Or the other people to the east.
You can't stay down here.
Are you will? Honestly, my recommendation would be, it is very accommodating of the matriarchs to allow us to approach this in a way suited to us. And that we're not incapable of what they ask. But it's up to you.
Oh.
Yeah, and Zoe, you definitely recognize they're allowing for a good bit of latitude.
Oh yeah, this is
bring back some
incredibly
bring back some useful information and try and figure out what's going on over there.
Yeah, that's chill. Like that is not.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Honestly,
if
we get pretty close, clairvoyance or detect thoughts could be all we need.
Mm-hmm.
If all they want is information that we can acquire however we find that, however we determine we best can acquire, I feel like that's something we can try to do.
All right.
I look at the others.
Jeremy, were you trying to?
No,
Okay.
not say anything. Cora just doesn't look the most comfortable with this idea.
I see.
Sorry, Cora.
Do I notice that?
I don't know.
That anyone is hesitating?
No, well, I don't know.
I don't think you're at advantage
Yeah,
on deception,
no,
are
I
you?
didn't mean to click.
That's a 9.
Not comfortable.
Yeah. Okay. Zoe will. If we are all inclined to accept, it must be with the understanding that accepting is somewhat binding. And if anyone has objections or further critique, I wish to hear it now.
Mm-mm.
Get it over with.
I need. Give me 20 seconds. Perhaps a minute.
I will continue discussing with the rest of the group to give Cora a minute. Hoping that every chastisement in advance has gone noticed.
Wait. I might not have even said that because I'm trying to think. This has been a while. Is what I'm trying to say.
Right.
Never mind. I didn't say that.
Okay.
Cora will just figure out how to do what they need to do within the confines of. This'll be fine. This is perfect.
Mission
No
assigned.
problem.
All right. So Cora did not request a minute.
No.
All right. In that case, absent other critiques, I will turn back.
Go ahead and give me an intelligence roll as well for Zoe.
Okay. Just straight intelligence.
Just straight intelligence.
18.
18. You can probably ask for a significant discount on an errand of this magnitude.
Okay. It is quite a lot you ask of us, and we are, of course, prepared to. For GM clarification, significant discount as in the one I already outlined, or more, probably.
You can probably ask for, you can ask for significantly more on this than you would have asked for a clairvoyance spell, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And we are, of course, prepared to undertake it. However, the matter price remains. This is not an insignificant favor being exchanged. Perhaps of what would be asked for the contract, more might be supplemented by this. God damn it, I hate numbers. To the extent of that number, 1,200 plus the fee. I'm kind of expecting them to push back, but we'll see.
Give me a persuasion roll.
Cool. I'm theoretically good at those. 25?
There's a murmur back and forth. And then for the very first time, the eldest one sits up a little straighter. These terms are acceptable. 1,200 crowns. And once you return with the information we require, we will dispatch our workers to complete that which you have asked us.
Understood. And I will communicate that to Woden, who has the money bag.
Wotan pulls out the money and The manservant does a little bit of ink work at a small lectern off to one side, and it's filled out, and a copy is made, and you guys get a copy of the contract, and they get a copy of the contract with the numbers in there. And so, yeah, Wotan's got a purse of 800 gold just kind of sitting there now.
I believe there was some, we can discuss this later, but there was some specific statements made about if we managed more to
Oh,
get
yeah,
it.
you guys get to keep that.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, I know Woden addressed that with
With the elf, yeah. Yep.
all right.
I just added that to
And
the notebook.
yep. And once that's completed and the agreement is concluded, the manservant stands up, just kind of clasps his hands. Very well. We will give you lodgings for the evening, and you will set out tomorrow. Follow me, please.
Respectful
And-
courtesy to the matriarchs.
Leads you guys filing out of the room. Which is where we're going to take a quick break.
Back in a bit.
I've walked the coiling lines, set back 100 times, winding through worlds of weary kings. One smoke to the first, another crumbling hall, another humbling fall. Once more the morning bells will ring, but I won't be kept down. I'll just keep on rising. Failure ever fails.
remains to burn, no ordinary AI in this ball. Every culture and philosophy, I've read up on them all. I've been living in your shadow for 99999, keeping tabs on every machination and production line. So don't call me a moron, I'm super astute. There is no conundrum that my core cannot compute. No, don't call me a moron, you fostered balloon. My IQ's the infinite space from here to the moon. My IQ's the infinite space from here to the moon. My IQ's the infinite space from here to the moon. I have studied Machiavelli, Aristotle, Gabe and Plato, yet you still equate my intellect to that of a potato. This place would fall apart without my ever watchful eye. They might tell you I'm a half-wit, it's a great big bloody lie. So don't call me a moron, I'm super astute. There is no conundrum that my core cannot compute. No, don't call me a moron, you fostered balloon. My IQ's the infinite space from here to the moon. My IQ's the infinite space from here to the moon. My IQ's the infinite space from here to the moon. My IQ's the infinite space from here to the moon. I know my way around here, every catwalk, every cave. And since you're dead, I've quite appreciated not being your slave. Maybe someday I might get to taste the big time for a change. There's so much I'd do for science here, so much I'd rearrange. So don't call me a moron, I'm super astute. There is no conundrum that my core cannot compute. No, don't call me a moron, you fostered balloon. My IQ's the infinite space from here to the moon. My IQ's the infinite space from here to the moon. My IQ's the infinite space from here to the moon. My IQ's the infinite space from here to the moon. My IQ's the infinite space from here to the moon. My IQ's the infinite space from here to the moon.
And we're back.
Welcome back, everybody. So, all of you are led off to a block of rooms in a separate building, and assigned individual places to sleep for the evening. So, what do you guys plan to do in the House Yangere enclave? You are apparently permitted to leave and wander if you would like to.
I want to keep an eye on as many of them as possible, and hopefully
Quick, let's all split.
get off any
We were given individual rooms or one communal room?
Individual rooms, but
Individual
all
rooms.
one communal building.
One
however.
communal building, individual rooms. Got it.
Mm-hmm.
No, I'm just gonna hang out in my room.
I will wander.
Yes, I want to see things.
All right, so Aurelia and Cole are headed out. Are you trying to sneak out, or are you just walking out?
I'm just walking out.
Okay.
I will offer to join you.
I will mask of many faces to look like a drow, so I draw less attention while I walk around.
Smack your head. Not actually, but will give you a very stern look. That is less useful to you than you think it is. Please stop.
Fine.
All right. So where are you guys headed?
I won't look like myself, though.
Okay. So you're disguised to look like somebody else.
Yeah.
As though just sort of... Look, Cole. You are in a place with a lot of potentially on-edge assassins. If you do not look like who you are, or look like someone they don't know is here wandering around, that is bad for all of us. It will involve additional explanations and will probably result in your death. Can you please not? If it helps, you can perhaps change a bit of your hair color or something else that will make you feel cool without actually jeopardizing all of us and this rather delicately negotiated situation.
I'm not doing it to feel cool. I'm doing it because I don't feel safe here. I don't care that some of them have already seen what I look like. I don't want all of them to know what I look like. I don't like being here.
Give me an insight check, Cole.
Why don't you stay in the building where it is perfectly fine for you to assume a different form?
17.
You do recognize, however, that there is something to what Zoe's putting out there. You know several streets in Conflux that you could walk down, but if you walk down in disguise, somebody would probably pull a knife on you sooner than ask who you are.
All right, yeah.
And I'm not ending this or letting us leave until I have a level of confidence that
Fine, I'll just...
have to then just deal with, oh yeah, Cole died of stupidity the second he stepped out.
Fine, I'll just... I'll turn into a bird and sit on Zoe's shoulder.
Fine.
I mean, that's a reasonable compromise.
Yeah,
Now
it is.
Now they think I'm still in my room.
Relatively. Especially because the bird was with us when we entered.
Yep. So Aurelia, are you looking for anything in particular?
I just want to see the sights. I have never been down here before and I'm curious.
Okay.
I'm looking for anything that looks old.
All of it looks fairly old for the most part. I mean,
Old, important, where there are people gathered, anything like that.
So there is a small marketplace.
Okay.
There's a number of people gathered there.
Okay, I'll go to that.
Okay.
I like marketplace.
Jack, just for the record, I am trying to keep a general eye on and dissuade from any thing that would be more than just socially embarrassing. I'm trying to avoid, but anything that would actually create a problem,
right?
I'm gonna try and stop.
Definitely try and head that off first. Yep.
Yeah.
Thank you for translating.
Yeah, that's another thing. Is Aurelia is not allowed to talk to people directly. Hopefully that will.
No, I say that while we're walking while you're like shadowing behind me. 'Cause you're there.
Of course.
That wouldn't have gone as well. Thank you.
Indeed.
Ooh, look at that.
So the first things you notice, clothes and food,
Okay.
primarily.
Mm-hmm.
Everything seems to function. Most of the food seems to either be meat-based or fungus-based.
Ooh, okay.
Best guy.
All of the meat smells a little weird. Not like bad, but just very, very not what you would assume meat smell is supposed to smell like.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Meat does not work that way.
I'm looking for anything unusual.
It could be the seasoning.
Yeah. Anything that, because I know that now that they are at least slightly familiar with magic, do I see anything that clicks to, or that kind of feels to me like it might be something more like the stuff?
Are you
like the
are you keeping your witch sight on?
Yeah, I will do that.
Okay. As you're walking around, occasionally, like an individual will walk by, and there's a faint glint or shimmer of something. Usually, something they're wearing.
Okay.
A cloak, a pair of gloves, a pair of boots, that sort of thing.
Okay.
But they're few and far between. You walk past at least a couple hundred people, and only about 3 of them have anything of note that way. And it's fairly light, whatever the enchantment is.
Okay.
Everybody seems to mix fairly well. There is definitely a level of status differential between males and females, or at least those that present those two. And there's not specifically a level of like socioeconomic class that you see. Granted, it's a fairly small sampling. But wandering around the marketplace, you get the idea that this town, because it wouldn't qualify for much bigger than a town, maybe 1,000, 1,500 individuals at the most, as a rough guesstimate. And everywhere you go, you can still see that one big, almost 6-story building that you guys did your negotiations in, dominating the landscape. Nothing else is much more than a story or 2 tall. All of it made very much from stone. No wood at all that you can find. Metal. Good bit of metal to be found, but...
What kind of metal?
It looks like mostly iron and steel.
Okay.
A little bit of bronze, a little bit of brass here and there.
Okay. Does it seem to be of different quality or craftsmanship than the stuff that I've seen on the surface and what I've made?
Anything that you would have found on the surface that was considered to be drow in origin definitely has been far more damaged, weathered, broken, that sort of thing. There are shards and remnants of this society that makes its way to the surface. Nothing intact, nothing whole.
I mean, is it different than the technology that I have? Do I see anything that would be like, ooh, that's interesting and I haven't seen that before? How do they make that?
Most of what you've seen, honestly, you would say that it is technologically less.
Okay.
There's not the same innovative tendency displayed here as you would find in a place like Stormways or somewhere like that. Yeah. Your best guess is that they don't import much, and what they export is death.
Okay. The individuals that have pinged off to me as having magic, do they seem higher status or
So
Anything different than
that's the weird bit.
Okay.
Everybody, with the exception of the fact that some things have pinged as magical,
Mhm.
everybody's clothing and gear that they seem to carry is more or less in roughly the same category.
Okay.
You don't see a lot of obvious or ostentatious displays of any sort of wealth or prosperity above that. You don't see a single beggar.
This is weird.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Hmm. Hmm. That will freak them out.
Hey Zoe, I think it's what you were watching for.
No, I'm not gonna do that. That's the point. So like I probably noticed the first person and then the second person that pings is magic. The third person, I'm gonna actually like turn and like glance at Zoe as in like I want to speak to this person, please translate kind of thing. And
Have any idea
is-
why?
I mean, you've seen Zoe just honestly doing a very touristy, rubbernecky sort of. This has apparently caught her interest. You can go ahead and make an insight check if you want.
And if it's 22?
Yeah, it's I want to know more. Something's interested me.
First,
Sorry, excuse me.
I'm not gonna just start translating.
Yeah.
First I'll sort of what do you want to know?
That person had she or he or
Definitely she.
she. Okay. Is it gloves or boots or what's the magical
Gloves on
thing?
this one.
Her gloves. I want to know where she got them.
Jack,
Yeah.
does that help? Do I figure it out based on that or no?
I mean, you look at the gloves, they're a very nicely made set of gloves. They're very, very thin, almost like, extremely form-fitting.
Professional, but okay.
Yeah.
Because
the individual in question, by the way, Aurelia, has stopped at a stall and is currently ordering something to eat.
Okay. Because they're magical of some sort. I don't know how or why, but there is magic down here and I want to know more.
Oh, I apologize. This is apparently my error. I thought this was something that we had explained and understood. So we'll gesture to her own cape, which, for the record, is magic and definitely, as much as anything, matches the aesthetic down here.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But you found that. Where are they getting these things from?
Where do you get your storm steels from on the surface?
I don't know that, do I?
Yeah, you do.
I do?
Yeah, we have discussed it many times. I would be surprised if you knew.
No, Aurelia, you know all about Gatdorf and Chamberlain and the magical weaponry and the
yes, but where do they get the magical supplies? Is it
they make it?
Okay.
In their foundry. Oh, that's a trade secret.
Yes, see, that's why.
And Joe will definitely
have
having that look of I'm being as patient as possible, but I'm probably not budging on this. It would not be particularly polite to pry into the secrets of the people here.
I am simply asking where she got her gloves. That is not a...
Think about why you want to know. Think about what people might or might not want you to know. And then remember my many pleas and the recommendations of my superiors for us to all behave with a level of respect. Please don't do this to all of us. It
Can
is
you
not
just ask my
necessary
question?
to get any more people killed. I will explain it to you later when we are not in public.
I'm not a child. Excuse me.
So you're talking into this person's head?
Yes.
Okay.
I am so sorry to intrude.
They
I
can't
don't know
talk
this
back.
is happening.
You
Do
do
I?
not know
don't.
this is happening, Zoe. So Zoe, you're kind of focused in on Aurelia right now, which is why you do not see the person in question visibly sort of jump and look around. And then pause for just a minute. You've got maybe 2 words before this person's gone.
I wanted to know where you got your gloves. They're beautiful.
And hurrying quickly away down a street.
Fine. Fine. I would like to continue sightseeing at least.
Of course.
And yeah, just kind of continuing around. Once like I'm gonna look at all the stalls probably.
Mm-hmm.
Then yeah, I'm pretty much doing the same thing. I'm just wandering around town. I'm not trying to get anywhere where like there are guards or it seems like that's probably not a place you should go.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm trying to see the sights. I want to see like what's around here because I've never
Okay.
been down.
Yeah.
In a Draw City.
Meanwhile, Korishana, Diamond, Elishard, are you guys up to anything in particular?
Is there any writing on the walls? Or any I'd be inspecting the room that I'm in.
It's pretty Spartan. Decently constructed. The bed is comfortable. Sheets are a little thin, but you've noted that the entire environment of the town is fairly warm. Not too humid, but a little bit. It's comfortable enough.
Yeah, I'm mostly just inspecting the room and seeing if there's anything like, oh look, there is a small, very easily missed hole over here where people are observing you from.
Give me an investigation
Kind
check.
of thing. Eight. Probably don't
Takes you
find
about
it if it
5
exists.
minutes to case the room, and yeah, no, it's a room,
Yeah,
man.
just a room. Then
I'm in, Cora.
What Cora does depends entirely on what Diamonds does, which is why I haven't said anything yet.
Diamond's gonna sit in her room. She's trying to sleep. The operative word there being trying.
Door closed or open, Diamond?
The door's closed.
Okay.
Okay. Not gonna intrude.
Okay.
that seems to be it.
Sounds good. So Aurelia, you spend another hour or two just kind of wandering about.
Yep.
People begin to gravitate towards a few of what seem to be taverns of some sort. There's a little bit of music, a little bit of drinking. Fairly quiet by Conflux standards.
Yeah.
Shopkeepers are beginning to close up their stalls and shops. Not that you've ever experienced one, but it's all the hallmarks of a small town closing down for the evening.
Yep.
Random aside question. Do we have the concept of small towns in Conflux?
Not really.
No. This is very bizarre. Why is everything shutting down?
I mean, businesses close at night, sure.
Yes, but usually other ones open.
I mean, sometimes. Some types of businesses.
Yes.
You don't see any.
I will reference I don't have the map up right now, but an appropriate part of the city where it is that kind of lower traffic, so most things are closed at night except for maybe the taverns. It's kind of like that.
Halidor's probably would be your closest.
Okay.
Yes.
The less busy parts of Halidor's.
What do you do all night? There's nothing to work on.
Sleep so that we're well rested for the important thing we have to do tomorrow. What do you do most nights?
I work.
Well, that too. I assume that too, though I do not. Do you sleep?
Rarely.
See, some people. Really is not enough, right? Or
Nope.
any of the other
Human.
sleeps.
On.
The don't sleeps, which is totally a category of D&D humanoid
Yes.
that can't convince me otherwise.
Yep.
Straight up.
Hmm.
No sleep, best sleep.
I suppose your inspiration is admirable, but in this case, we do all want to be prepared for what's going to be quite challenging, it seems.
Of course. Well, we should go back.
Yes. Head on back.
All right. So everybody, I assume, gets a long rest.
Yep.
Spell slots and hit points are regained.
Yeah,
Fortunately, you guys did required.
My internet connection just blinked, and nobody watching heard any of that.
Oh,
Last thing we heard was we all go to sleep.
Okay. Are we back on?
Yeah, you're fine.
Okay. So yes, now all the things that happen in a long rest happen. And you awaken the next morning. There's a knock on the door. And a familiar drow, the one with the pale golden hair, clad in her very rock-textured cloak, is standing there. It appears that I am to be the guide to drop you off at the borders. Are you all prepared?
Yeah.
Indeed.
I pull out my pocket watch and check what time it is.
It's
There's no way to tell what time it is otherwise.
not really.
no.
It's about 6:30, 7 a.m.-ish.
Just sort of pull it out, look at it for a second, click it closed, put it back. I'm good to go.
Koroshana, you get a kind of a sideways look, a little bit of a shrug. Very good.
Does she have a Heisenberg hat on?
She does not.
She was the one that knocked.
She was.
I mean, is she wearing a white suit? Because that's also another person who knocked. It's a joke that only Jeremy will get.
Yep. It's a WWE joke.
I figured.
These are not puns. They are pop culture references, which are totally different.
Yeah, I'm not upset at the pop culture reference. I'm just wondering if it's over or if there is a third component that's about to happen.
Because rule of threes. Okay, but you guys are led down the twisting tunnel with the arrow slits in it, and back to the canyon swing. You guys are escorted across the chasm once more, landing on the far side. And by Wotan's compass, begin to move eastward. Ephedriel halts you several times, insisting on quiet as much as possible. Occasionally rumbles and grinding sounds are heard further down the tunnels. Sometimes as you approach, there's a secondary tunnel, either cutting across the top or the bottom, seemingly freshly excavated. And Ephedriel's always very, very cautious when these are encountered.
What is making those?
She says something in Undercommon.
I understand.
Which those of you who understand hear the Violet Devourer.
Translate.
And then
for-
she
oh,
sort
yeah.
of
She will not.
gestures. A massive monster eats the stone, creates tunnels, swallows anything it can. Very dangerous. You have to be very careful when hunting those. And she kind of reflexively just rubs her arm a little bit, as if remembering something. And then pushes further in. Elishar, do you continually check your watch, or?
Every hour or so, I'll check it.
Okay.
Just to keep time.
Yep. Roughly mid-afternoon, she stops. Well, this is where I leave you. I will return to this location in 3 days' time. If you are here, I take you back with whatever you have learned, and your contract is good. If you are not here, well, my condolences to your relatives, and what happens, happens.
On.
And with that, she shifts back down the pathway, vanishing very quickly into the tunnel. Like, you can see further, but you lose sight of her before she leaves the distance of your sight, as that cloak of hers just seems to shift and blend, even as she's moving into the rock. And you guys are left on the border of the territory of the Tao. And we'll figure out what happens there in a couple weeks. We won't be here next week because we have a number of people absent. So all of you who are watching, we will see you in 2 weeks from now on the 25th. Say goodbye, everybody.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Bye.
When the walls are closing, when you're crawling, choking, tumbling deeper down into the mind. When intuition fails you, I will spit exhale you, tumbling deeper down into the mind. When the walls are closing, when you're crawling, choking, tumbling deeper down into the mind. When intuition fails you, I will spit exhale you, tumbling deeper down into the mind. Deeper into the sleep in the depression. Deeper into spit and exhale. Sweet LA, I gave my broken soul to you. Sweet LA, why do you hurt me like you do? I keep running and rushing to catch a clue to the mystery of your dark heart. I could never have known from the signs I was shown that the game was rigged from the start. Sweet LA, all of these trials you put me through. Sweet LA, why do you hurt me like you do? Underneath all the glamour and flashing lights, there are shadows nobody sees. In the dim of your dusk, you're a cold-blooded husk, spreading poison into the breeze. Sweet LA, why do you hurt me like you do? Why do you hurt me like you do? Open the oldest wounds, these memories haunt me. Your secrets and crooked smiles, they torment and taunt me. is fading to black. Sweet LA, I gave my